All right. This is just Johnny from the Geek Down, and I'm here at Boston Fig Talks 2017, and I'm chatting with Seth of
Subaltern. Yep.
Subaltern Games.
My name's Seth Alter, so it's a
Oh,
wordplay.
it's a combo.
Yeah.
Ah, I like that. I like that. And you can see that we have your logo on there, and we're going to be talking about a game, not game, that you have in the works.
It's not really a game.
It's not really a game.
Yeah.
So could you explain what it is?
It's definitely just a board game. There's nothing.
Okay.
There's nothing more to it. But it's set in the Empire. It's called Traitor Nightly. It's set in the Empire, or not like the Star Wars. It's just like an empire. It's a shitty place.
Some fictitious. Oh yeah, you can swear as much as you want. So some random fictitious.
Yeah,
empire.
like it sucks.
Okay.
And
the Empire sucks.
The Empire sucks.
Okay.
And everyone there plays this board game called Traitor. It's very popular there.
Yep.
And there's a radio show called Traitor Nightly, and there's a Grand Master of Traitor, and he invites a guest every night to play against him. They chat. That's the whole show. And you're a reporter on the show.
Okay.
And you're playing against him. You can interview him as you play along.
So you are interviewing the radio show host.
Yes.
And that is the board game.
While you're playing this game.
So you're interviewing them while you're playing a board game.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's much more about the interview than it is about the game itself.
Okay. So does your actions in this board game have any consequence to the overall narrative of this game, not game?
Yes, but it might not tell you.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right, so let me put up some screenshots here that we have for it. So this screenshot here, this is just the opening, right?
Right.
All right.
So a little about the project. I've worked on 2 titles in the past. I've shipped them on Steam.
Yep.
They each took 2 years to make. This is 2 months in, and it's like fully playable. So it's very short. It's 10 minutes to do the entire game.
This is a much smaller project.
It's much smaller,
yeah.
much easier to iterate. So
okay.
So like the screenshots all look like, but again, like, this is like hyper narrow scope.
Okay. And is this sort of like, it sounds like a prototype, something that you have in the works, just to see if it could turn into something bigger, or is the plan to keep it at its current iteration, polish it up, and then?
Yeah, that's that. Or it is what it is. It's part of it being not a game is that it's like it actually stops after about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And you could feasibly replay it, but that's the entirety of the experience. It does one thing, and that's its purpose.
So it's a very focused experience.
Yes.
That you're going for.
And an experiment in narrative design in games that I have not seen in a game before.
Okay.
It actually does something new.
Yeah. So, what are your plans for delivering this? Do you plan on putting it on Steam? And we're talking about. You did mention like a board game. This is not a board game. This is software.
Yes.
So this is more along the lines of a video game.
Only in the Empire, it's a board game.
Okay. So in this world, this
right.
narrative world, this fictitious world, it's a board game.
Right.
Okay. But what you're actually playing as a player is
yes.
a video game.
Yes.
Okay. So are you planning on, is this just going to be something that people can download online off of Subaltern Games website, or is this going to be on like a Steam platform or something else?
Well, it's definitely going to be on itch. I would love to have it up on Steam. My dream actually is to get an art installation for this. I want to start. I know a few people, and I want to talk around and see if that's possible.
Yep.
I think it will have its best life in an art gallery.
In an art gallery?
In a physical space, yeah.
Oh, wow. And
it's not a game.
Yep.
Unless it has to be.
So, all right. So, is it interactive?
Yes.
Okay. And what parts of it are? Maybe I should hold off on some of these questions because we will demo this experience in a little bit. So, should I just reserve my questions until then?
Yes.
All right, so it's recommended to do that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your past.
Okay.
So you said that you released 2 other games. Both
yes.
of them were on Steam, yes?
Yes.
And could you talk about both those games?
Yeah, so I made Neocolonialism. my first project, which is a Marxist strategy game where you
Hmm.
have to extract as much wealth from the world as possible in 12 turns, or at least more than the other players. It's a turn-based strategy game, so you buy and sell government votes and create exploitative free trade agreements and try to put money into your secret Swiss bank account.
Oh, interesting. This is definitely very highly political.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so. My second game is No Pineapple Left Behind,
Yep.
which is a charter school simulator where you play as a principal and you try to dehumanize kids into tropical fruit in order to make money.
So so you mentioned charter school. Is this sort of your take on charter schools and whether
Yes.
they are practical or impractical? Sounds like you're leaning towards impractical.
Well, I mean, they're certainly practical, but what does practical mean, and what's the human cost of practical is what the
Ah,
game examines.
okay.
Because school budgets are tied to their grades via the No Child Left Behind Act,
Hmm.
they everything they do has to be shifted towards getting better grades in order to to balance the budget. And if that means like stamping on the humanity of kids and just testing them all day, then so be it. Like they don't necessarily have a choice.
That's right. In that game, you can, as a teacher, you can have a laser pointer, right? And you can
teachers
shoot
have
a
las-
laser at your
teachers have
kids.
lasers and magic spells,
Yep.
and they can turn kids into pineapples, and pineapples don't have feelings, and all they do is take tests.
They're very robotic and they'll follow
Right,
direction.
they're fruit, they're not people.
But if they're children,
Children are a pain in the ass.
they are a pain,
Yeah.
and they will be erratic and they'll do stuff
Yes,
that you don't want
exactly.
them to do.
Exactly. And which would be fine unless if it weren't for the fact that like if they do get out of line, then their grades go down, the grades go down, then you go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Like that's the reality.
As the charter school principal,
Principal
as the
or
principal, so
administrator, yeah.
or the administrator. Okay, so you definitely don't want to go bankrupt, right? You're
Right.
running a
That's how
school.
you lose.
Yeah, because this is a charter school, so it is a business. It is privately owned and privately run, but government funded, right?
Right.
So you're touching base on a lot of sensitive issues, and we're in Mass, right? We're in Boston. You can see the landscape in the background on
Sup,
video.
Boston?
Maybe not with the light luminescence, but we're
It's
in
quite
Boston.
pretty.
We just had a vote in November, and one of those was to vote on charter schools.
No, look, like we voted down charter schools and voted for weed. It was fucking great. We
Oh,
nailed it.
yeah,
Go us.
yeah. So
We yeah no so my games have always had a very artsy side to them,
yep.
and more recently I was in Omaha at an art residency, sci-fi art residency for 3 months, which I got paid to do, and made a whole bunch of new media weird ass art projects. So these days I'm sort of leaning away from a 2-year commitment towards making a critique of charter schools and trying to make much smaller, tighter projects that are not necessarily strictly adhering to the framework of what it means to be a video game.
Something uh, more one-off, more one-time experience, like in the way of of artwork itself,
Yes.
traditional artwork, where you go into some sort of museum or the other word
Gallery.
That was the one I was looking for, and you sort of stare at some painting, some portrait, some sculpture for a period of time, and you're sort of a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts are going through your mind because it's being invoked by what you're looking at, and that's sort of what you're aiming for in your visual
Thing.
semi-interactive
I mean,
software.
again, I think the main difference with most art and what I'm working on is that, unlike most digital art, where like you have like I don't know a 3D face melting on a projector, like which is cool. I love it. There's an artist in Omaha who's really into that. It was really great. But unlike that sort of stuff, I might like you actually have to play my thing. You can't observe it. I'm not a visual artist. I have no visual art skills whatsoever. It's all about the interaction with the system.
Okay. So so that's where the kind of gaminess part of it
Yes.
kicks in because you are interacting. The player, me myself, I will have influence on the outcome, whatever it may be. I don't know what to expect. I haven't tried it out yet, so I'll be doing that very shortly. And what happens is essentially what you hope I'm gonna come out of it is something.
Yeah. Yes.
Awesome. Uh, Now, before we get into that, you did launch two other games
Mm-hmm.
on Steam. Um, sorry, and those are the other two games. You said that they were 2 years worth
Each.
of each, which is a lot of time. So we're talking 4 years, two games launched on Steam, and now you have switched over to something that's significantly smaller in scope. And could you just touch on as to some of the reasons why you made that switch?
I sleep a lot better.
You sleep a lot better.
It's
that
great.
definitely sounds like a nice positive.
The the vision for this project, and I don't know if I'll actually end up doing it, is that I want to set a bunch of things in this empire, in the Faristine Empire,
Mhm.
more or less in chronological order, but very different experimental projects, with the idea being that if I get bored or burnt out on that, I'm done. Like whatever I've made is already complete and discrete. Um, if you're in a if you're in, going down a 2 year project and you're on like 1 year 10 months and like you've decided you don't like it anymore, like doesn't matter. Like you actually just gotta finish it and suck it up for 2 months. So
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that kind of burnout feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's real rough. So trying
That,
to make very very small stuff, I can complete it and do something related to it on the next go around.
yeah. It. So what you're saying is it's more relieving in the stress of working on something, as you said, for months and years at a time. Uh, there can be that risk where you just don't like what you're doing anymore, and you don't
Right.
want to do that.
No, it sucks.
It makes you fall out of love with your passion, and that's a
Absolutely.
terrible feeling. So uh, it sounds great that you're moving on to this, and
Yeah.
I say we give it a
Sure.
shot and have it run. So you'll have the mic, and you could sort of narrate and sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
talk and do some commentary as
So
to what I'm
again,
going through.
as a caveat, work in progress. 2-month-old project. Uh, 90% sure it will work. So I really wanted this to like actually feel like a board game. Like the board opens up, it's got pieces. Like you're definitely and therefore you're definitely talking to this person. So he's saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trader Nightly. I'm your host, Dr. Andros Carvanos. With us tonight is a special guest, a reporter from the Pharaoh's Post. Will my guest prove to be a novice, or this defender of the truth, warrior of the pen, be the downfall of myself, the great Grand Master? So tell me, are you new to the illustrious and storied game of Trader?" The answer is yes. Incidentally, you are. You're a beginner. Well, I was expecting more, how to say, competition, but this will have to do. Traitor is a game of royalty, a warning against the misuse of power. You will play as the rebels, and I will play as the Empire. To start, place your rebel armies on any of the red hexes.
All right, and so the rebel armies is the circles down
Yeah,
below. Okay.
your red rebel armies.
Oh, yep. Colors. Got it. So I'll take the right hand side. Seems pretty good.
Excellent. Now, move your armies in whatever order you wish. Be aware that some hexes are more likely to have militia than others. You must survive in order to win or destroy all of my armies. I win by building 3 castles on the dark red hexes or by destroying all of your armies.
Okay. So let's see here. Put this. All right. So moving, is it just one
Click and drag.
hex?
Yeah, it'll show you.
Okay. Oh, I see. To avoid. You're here.
You gotta roll the dice.
Okay.
Nope. Ah, the militia. When an army fails the dice roll to avoid militia, there's an uprising on the hex. Battle commences. Avoid the militia by checking the odds. So you gotta roll that dice on the bottom left.
Okay.
Defender
Another-
wins ties, so you took some damage. You can also click in the middle to start asking him questions. No, bottom middle.
Oh, yep. That's it. So this is what you said,
You're interviewing.
the interview
Yeah.
questions. Okay.
This is actually the heart of the project.
Let's ask them why they first started playing.
Now you still have 2 moves. You can choose not to move your pieces if you don't want.
Okay.
And he gets to make his move.
All right. So what is this greater than 2?
If you have
signify?
to roll, yeah, you have to roll better than a 4 to avoid the militia. He rolled a 4, so you are battling now. The militia have risen up on the red hex. You gotta.
And that's this battle right here, right?
No, it's the middle left. The piece on the red hex.
Okay.
That one. So you gotta roll right now.
Oh, all right. So it's territory.
Yeah, these are all territories.
Okay. I see.
Oh, so you won. The militia
we
won.
go.
So takes damage, retreats.
I see. So, and this is the Empire's territory. So, I believe it's time for me to squash the Empire.
So consider not moving your damaged armies. Armies that are on loyal dark colored hexes can heal if you do not move them. You don't have to squash the Empire. You have to prevent the Empire from building castles. You just have to survive. The victory trackers in the top center.
Oh, okay. So it's a number. I just have to survive for a number of turns.
Yes, and they have to build 3 castles to win.
Got it. And what is this middle gear piece here?
That's you can't go there. It's impassable.
Okay, so it's just impassable territory. Yeah. Okay.
And you can continue to ask a question. So
Yep.
it's 1 per turn.
I'm going to move first, and then I'll ask questions. Hopefully I made a good move. Alright. Let's ask this question here. Oh, so very interesting. The guy is certainly a fan of this game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he loves it.
Yeah. Alright, so my turn is... No, I still have 1 more move. Okay. And that one can move. And I could just end my turn if
Yeah,
I don't
you
want
could
to
end
do
your
it.
turn. This is a pretty strong position. I would just end.
It is, but I kind of want to like just take this.
You can't take territory. You're
Oh.
you're rebel.
Oh, so
You're just trying to outlast.
Okay, so I just bunker in. So what happens when they start building these castles? How do I prevent them from building the castles?
You have to prevent them from getting to the hex in the first place.
To the red hex.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it looks like this. I mean, you got to roll against a 6 right now.
Probably
So
won't, but
but again, they
hey,
so
there
you
we go.
yeah, you go. So you're they have to get all three to win, and it looks like they're nearing two. So they don't really have a good choice for the third one.
So eventually, I probably need to like work some of my rebel, at least one rebel piece, maybe over here to protect.
Yeah.
As long as I'm protecting one,
Mhm.
looks like they're moving down here
Right.
to
I
the
would
left.
you gotta. All right. So they've got that one locked up. They'll castle next turn.
Okay. So it takes a full turn, so they have to move into the space,
Yeah.
and then once they move into it, then they can castle.
Yeah. So you get one more chance if you have armies nearby.
Interesting. Which I don't.
Right.
So that's guaranteed to be a castle. Ooh, burning of heretics. Let's learn more about that. The slaughter of innocents. Hey, that's a little bit of real life
Mhm.
events right there. A little bit of real life history.
There's a really stupid Fleet Foxes reference in this passage. Uh, that I couldn't help myself.
I'm not familiar with it, so I'll just take it at what it says. Okay, so do need to defend this.
You gotta roll.
Oh, yep. So you said I cannot move into this territory.
You could, but there's not much reason to. In fact, I would keep it open and try to get one of those armies to head towards you. They will more likely go towards undefended spaces, so you can kind of trap them. Yeah, like that.
Jeez, them sixes. Come on. Yes.
All right.
There we go. The rebel force, strong.
One
Alright,
castle,
now we have
two
the
to go.
castle. I'll just say well played.
You were reckless and sloppy, it says.
They just got lucky. There we go. Yes. Teach me how to beat you.
I would take the bottom question.
There we go. That is in. So I'll get a little bit of maybe my
Mhm.
player history from this. Let's get some criteria.
This hardly matters, seeing as I have never lost on this show.
Interesting. Huh. So it sounds like, is this line here, this is tailored towards your first
Yes.
selection? Okay. Alright. So it would be, I'm assuming it would be maybe humiliating if I actually beat him for a shot.
Very much so.
Ooh. That is an ending I want. Alright. That one definitely moving over there.
Yeah, that's a good setup.
I like this spot. So the damage on them, what does that mean?
They can take 3 hits before they're destroyed.
Oh, and they lose the piece forever.
forever. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So now I gotta beat that 3, and I did. So now it's in that piece, and now I have 1 turn. It doesn't. It looks like I'm too far away to contest it.
Yeah, but again, you can still block up the
The top left.
yeah.
Yep.
And then you could probably lock down the game from there.
All right.
Great.
Oh, so they're gonna continue taking damage as long as they remain in that spot?
No, they tried to get out, but the militia stopped them.
Oh, interesting.
There's just rebellion everywhere. It's chaos.
That is great. The rebellion.
I would take the second choice. I recommend it for the purposes of this demo.
All right. The church is luck to have her.
Lucky, sorry.
Should be lucky. Hmm. That's that. Oh, okay. Alright, so those are good. I definitely need to protect that one spot. There we go. Oh. Take that damage. Oh, that piece is just gonna. The rebels are gonna kill it.
Yeah, that one's kind of stuck.
Yeah, that's great. Got the second castle. Let's move this one in there, and there we go. Oh, I see. So if I wanted to have a better chance of moving a piece,
Yeah.
I should move that piece first before
Well, towards
moving the
the,
second one.
I mean, the different colors determine the odds.
Oh, okay. All right, I got it.
I got a new question.
Yep.
Oh, it broke. Okay, I was worried about that. That's probably as far as we can get for this demo.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
So, I'll spoil the ending in that case. As you follow up with the questions, you can start to piece together that he's trying to tell you something else. If you're winning, if he's winning, he's not going to tell you anything. If you're winning, he'll start insisting that he's never lost on the show. And if you follow that line of questioning, you can figure out that that there have been other hosts on the show, and they've also never lost except for the last game.
So,
At which point they retire.
Ah, they retire.
They retire.
Secretly retire or retire?
Retire to the countryside and are never heard from again.
Sounds like a secretly retire.
Secret kind of retire. So, with that knowledge in mind, you could choose to throw the game. At which point it would say you lost, and he brags about it, and that's the end.
But what you're actually doing is potentially saving his life.
Yes, but this is the part where it's not a game, because this project will never tell you that.
Right.
And in fact, it'll just say you lost the game, and he'll brag about it, and that's it. That's the whole thing.
This is something that you as a player, after reading through the story and figuring out this discussion that you're having,
yes,
you come to that final conclusion.
He's definitely gonna die.
And that's dependent on how your interview goes and the type of
exactly.
questions
If you're
asking.
actually paying attention to him and asking interesting questions, so it's an experiment. It's not a game. It's about if you know something more about this virtual character, would you act differently? Like the dialogue doesn't branch. The dialogue doesn't open up new story paths. It just gives you more knowledge of this person as a person.
Yeah.
And like, what would you do if you knew more about him?
That is absolutely fascinating.
Thank you.
Really like that. And it definitely seems like probably a little bit longer than 10 minutes, but absolutely shorter than half hour.
Sure.
To go through.
I mean, it's 10 when I play it. Now that
Yeah.
I'm seeing you play it, sure, it's
Yeah.
20. Let's say.
Yeah, 20, maybe a half hour. But I mean, like that's really short, really quick, and it was interesting. I actually want to like continue playing that, but I guess there's
Yeah, no,
still a few bugs and stuff
the
like that.
dialogue broke. I wasn't going to give you any more questions.
Yeah, so
So it
it's
goes.
still
It's
a work in
fine.
progress.
Right.
And it's a smaller work in progress, so hopefully it'll be
It'll be done in a
completed
couple weeks.
a couple
Yeah.
weeks. That
Yeah.
sounds pretty good.
I'm looking for work, so
Yeah,
this is what I'm doing in the
it's what
when
you're
I'm
doing in
not
the meantime.
applying. So I got plenty of time to wrap this thing up.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I want to make a series of experiments
yeah,
of that modality. Um, but as far as I know, no one has deployed dialogue this way in a video game before, where
yeah.
it doesn't open up a choice. It just gives you a soft choice of like, do you want to change your actions now that you know something else?
The soft choice. A lot of movies do this.
Yes, many,
Yeah.
and books like, oh, I understand
Yep.
why this person's doing something because because of X, Y, and Z, which I read about before.
Yeah. Your
Um,
opinion of something has changed once you get the full picture of what's going on.
but none of them allow you to make a decision accordingly.
Yep. And in this one, you actually, because I mean that is the true nature of what separates video games from other art forms, is
Right.
that it is interactive,
Yeah,
and the player does have choice.
that's what I was trying to you can't just look at this in an art gallery. You actually have to
Sit down.
you actually have to
and
sit down
read through it,
and
play it.
play it.
Yeah.
The board game itself is okay.
Board game is actually pretty fun.
Thanks. Yeah, no,
pretty cool.
it's an okay game. Everyone in the Empire plays it. They love it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely about it takes this whole setup of like a pretty standard board game, and like it's got a win condition and a lose condition, and like but like it's sort of like you don't actually have to follow that. You could just decide to lose.
Yep.
Or you could beat him, in which case he'll start yelling at you, and then it cuts off into I guess static or whatever once I have some sound in, if I ever do that.
Oh, well, it was definitely interesting, and I'm definitely gonna look forward to checking it out once it's fully completed.
Yeah, I'll try to have it up on itch.
Alright.
I don't have a link to it yet, but you can put up screenshots once in a while at Subaltern Games on Twitter.
Okay, so yeah, all right. So if you want to just plug in whatever social media, website, whatever things you want, go ahead.
Yep, at Subaltern Games, which is same title as what's up there, but with the at symbol. And is the Twitter handle. My website is subalterngames.com.
Yep.
And it'll most likely be on subalterngames.itch.io.
Oh, yep, itch.io. So
Yeah.
it'll be available there for play.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other locations that people can sort of learn more about Subaltern Games? Or
Yeah, I mean, you can check out my games No Pineapple Left Behind and Neocolonialism. Then they're both on Steam.
And those both, as you said, both those games are available on Steam. So you can play the earlier works from Seth and Subaltern Games, and you can also find out when this game is going to be completed and potentially grab it from itch.io.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, do you have anything else that you want to bring up?
That's about it.
All right. So this is just Johnny from the Geek Down. I'm here at Boston Fig Talks 2017.